The crash of the Azerbaijan Airlines plane, which crashed in Kazakhstan, is similar to the crash of Malaysia Airlines flight MH17, which was shot down over Ukraine in 2014, the Telegraph writes. An unnamed French aviation expert noted that the crash in Aktau on Christmas Day was reminiscent of the MH17 tragedy when Russian-backed separatists shot down a passenger plane with a surface-to-air missile over the Donbas, killing 298 people. The Embraer 190 aircraft, flying from Baku to Grozny, deviated from the route for unknown reasons and crashed while landing in Aktau. 38 people died in the crash. 29 managed to survive. Video footage from the scene shows the plane plummeting and exploding on impact with the ground. Other footage shows damage to the plane, including the fuselage being separated from the wings and clear evidence of shrapnel impact. A specialist from the French BEA agency, commenting on the situation on condition of anonymity, said that the plane's wreckage had significant damage from shrapnel. The Baku-based publication A News suggests that the cause of the disaster could have been a surface-to-air missile fired by the Russian Pantsir S air defense system over Grozny. It is known that on the day of the crash, Russian air defense systems were actively used to protect against Ukrainian drones. Official sources report that Russian airports refused to allow the plane to make an emergency landing, which is why it was sent to Aktau. It is the second time in the last decade that a civilian aircraft may have been shot down by Russian-made missiles. MH17, which was flying from Amsterdam to Kuala Lumpur, was mistakenly identified by pro-Russian forces as a Ukrainian military aircraft. The investigation found that MH17 was hit by a surface-to-air missile. Shrapnel holes found on the plane were consistent with damage to the Embraer 190. According to Matthew Borry of Osprey Flight Solutions, both cases could have been a case of mistaken identity. MH17 was mistaken for a Ukrainian military aircraft and Azal 8243 for a Ukrainian drone. Government sources also said that debris from the missile that likely hit the Azal plane exploded near the fuselage, causing casualties among passengers and crew. In the MH17 case, an international investigation team has established the involvement of the Russian military. A court in the Netherlands has found 3 people guilty of murder for organizing the launch of the missile system that was used to attack the plane.
"14 members of the country's new government security service have been killed in the Syrian province of Tartus by local forces supporting the regime of ousted dictator Bashar al-Assad. The dead were ambushed while attempting to arrest an officer linked to the notorious Sednaya prison, The Guardian reports. The publication noted that 3 more armed men were killed during clashes in Tartus province. The new Syrian Interior Minister confirmed this information and added that another 10 policemen were wounded by Assad supporters. The incident comes as demonstrations and nighttime curfews elsewhere have become the worst unrest since the Syrian dictator's regime was toppled more than 2 weeks ago, the newspaper said. Journalists shared that in the city of Homs, Syrian police imposed a night curfew after unrest broke out there due to demonstrations that residents said were led by members of the Alawite and Shiite religious minorities. 1 protester was killed and 5 others were injured. Local residents told reporters that the demonstrations were linked to pressure and violence directed at members of the Alawite minority, who had long been considered loyal to Assad. In addition, the publication stated that demonstrations of thousands are being held in the coastal cities of Tartus and Latakia. They are also led by Alawites. Fabrice Balanchi, a Middle East expert from France's University Lumière Lyon II, estimated the Alawite community makes up for about 9% of Syria's population. The Alawites were very close to Bashar's regime. Their association with the regime risks provoking collective revenge against them, even more so as Islamists consider them heretics, he told AFP. Syria's transition after the fall of Mr. al-Assad's government has been so far unchallenged. The interim leader Ahmad al-Shara has vowed to put in place an inclusive government represented by various religious sections. The country's new rulers have sought to assure religious and ethnic minorities that their rights would be upheld, but minorities in Syria, especially the Alawites, are fearful for their future and worry about revenge attacks. Activists have reported some revenge killings in the country in the past few weeks. The new Syrian authorities said that on December 25, some representatives of the ousted Assad regime attacked interior ministry forces in the coastal region of the country, resulting in several deaths and injuries.